Now we move on to
The preview.
a glorified fight night, in my opinion. I think probably one of the least anticipated
That's very fair.
UFC pay-per-views
Glorified fight night.
of all time.
Yeah.
I don't even think I'm going to tune into this, to be honest with you.
How can you have an Oceania card without my man Volk? You know, like it doesn't make any sense. As well as we're not making the actual fight at middleweight. You know, the big title fight. I don't know why they booked it for this month. Like it doesn't make any sense.
Yes, let's get into that. So first of all, Rodriguez fought at UFC 289, right?
Yeah.
That was when, okay.
Yeah.
And Volk.
Yes.
Okay. Forget for a second. Actually, no, don't forget it. Just think about this.
Yeah.
Kai Kara France, I think, as well fought on that card. I stand to be corrected. But they had so many Oceania fighters. Volkanovski was there. Dricus was on that card. Or Rob, whichever one you wanted, because Rob's also Oceania. So
Yeah.
whichever way that fight went, we said it on the one episode here that it's too short a turnaround time.
Yeah.
I said it on the Talking Points video as well, like the UFC stuffed up the booking.
Yeah.
They really stuffed up the booking. Now you add injuries into that. Kai Kara France is injured. He's not going to fight. He was supposed to fight. Volkanovski got injured, but Volkanovski wasn't going to fight in any event.
Yeah.
I mean, it's too quick a turnaround time after that. And what? Are you going to have Taporia as well and say, okay, well, you got a turnaround time that's so short as well?
Yeah.
They stuffed it up completely, man. Now I look at this card and like top to bottom, okay, Izzy's on the card. Izzy's always a pay-per-view.
And
I mean,
Ty,
no, but Ty, we're gonna get to the fights and everything, but Ty is a main eventer for a fight night.
Mm.
You know, no disrespect, like in all respect, but you get different tiers. I mean, Ty against the top guys has struggled. There are other heavyweights that you make now. If you look at your Pavlovich, you've got all the guys we mentioned: Aspinall, Pavlovich, John Jones, Stipe, Cyril Gahn. Those are your pay-per-view heavyweights.
Yeah.
And then you've got maybe lower down on the card, you can have Ty, you can have Derek Lewis and those guys. But that's as a glorified fight night.
Yeah. Very entertaining, but not that like competitive. I mean, not that competitive. I hear what you're saying.
Nobody wants to see Sean Strickland versus Izzy.
Yeah.
Like nobody wants, I mean, okay.
We'll get into it.
We'll get into it, yeah. But I mean, glorified fight night. I mean, look, so just to show you how much of a glorified fight night this is, the first fight, Tyson Pedro, Anthony Turkalj.
Yeah.
Butchering these names, I'm just going to own it anyway.
Yeah.
They're both on a losing streak. Tyson Pedro had a 9-fight win streak before. I wish. 9 fights in the UFC, 5-4.
Yeah.
So basically has a 50-50 record. He's on a 1-fight losing streak, 9-4 total, not that experienced.
Yeah.
Anton's 8-2, 2-fight 0-2 in the UFC, 2-fight losing streak. That opens your card, your main card.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry to be overcritical on this, but like this is really, the UFC messed this up. And like this, the number of pay-per-view buys over here, I mean, maybe Izzy can save it. Maybe the patriotic, Aussie, it's Aussie. We're going to,
Yeah.
It's just going to tank, dude.
No, I feel the same. Do you remember the last Australia card where Volkov versed the lightweight champion?
Islam, yeah.
Yeah, that was huge. And the build-up was amazing. The turnout for the Australian crowd was massive. And like that was a whole nation against the greatest of all time versus the second. Oh, sorry, not all time.
Pound for pound.
Yeah, pound for pound versus second pound for pound. This just doesn't
champion
have the
versus
same.
champion doesn't happen often.
Yeah.
Like it's rare. The last time was with Stipe and DC, and that was ages ago. Then before that, it was like, okay, Amanda Nunes, but Conor McGregor going up. It barely happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like this is supposed to be. So I don't know. I think they signed like a new TV deal or something, or they signed some new thing in Australia. Like, and you make this card. Anyways, sorry, we gotta stay professional. We gotta but anyway.
Yeah.
So. In this fight, I don't know. It's kind of hard to pick a winner, but I think I'm going to go with Tyson Pedro by knockout.
Same.
He's had 9 UFC fights. This guy's He's had 2 UFC fights. He's making now his 3rd walk.
Yeah.
0-2.
I can't see it going to the ground. It's going to be a stand-up. And I think Tyson's got the edge. I think, more experience.
Then, okay, so now we get to the heavyweights. So this is a rematch because of the eye poke that happened previously.
Yeah.
Justin Tafa versus Austen Lane. Again, so low down on the rankings in the heavyweights. I mean, Tafa, okay, Oceania and everything, but Tafa was on a 2-fight win streak. Austen Lane was on a 6-fight win streak. Before that, this is technically Austen Lane's UFC debut because of the no contest previously.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a very thin division when you get past the top heavyweights.
Yes, absolutely.
So I'm a little bit torn in this one.
I still think Tafa. I think Tafa. And I've just, to be honest, because I've seen more from him.
And he's got more experience in the UFC.
Yeah.
I also think Tafa, I mean, I don't know. Austen Lane's got a better record. I mean, he's more experienced, 12-3, 6-fight win streak before the eye poke, but outside of the UFC. Ever since all these people have been making their debuts in UFC, I can't go with them until I've seen them. So I'm also going for Tafa by decision, I think.
I think knockout. I think second
Possible. Okay, again, just to show you how lackluster this card is.
Yeah,
okay.
I know, yeah.
Middle of the card, you've got someone making their UFC debut, which, mind you, by the way, the fight before this is also technically making his UFC debut, Austen Lane. But Felipe de Santos, yes, I get that he is exciting. I get that he's a prospect. I get that he's 7-0. But again, you make your UFC debut 3rd fight from the top. It shows you how lackluster this card really is.
Yeah.
But anyway, I digress. Felipe dos Santos versus Manel Kape. Manuel's got a 3-fight win streak.
I think I'm saying Manuel.
I'm also saying Manuel, yeah. He's 3-fight win streak. Yeah, I mean, he's a veteran of the UFC. He's got a good ground game. Look, dos Santos is physically gifted. He's very calm. He's well-rounded. Outside of the UFC, everything I'm seeing, if he had the same run within the UFC, obviously I'd go for dos Santos because everything on paper is saying that.
Yeah.
And I think dos Santos is the favorite. I might be mistaken.
I couldn't find any odds.
Okay. I saw it, but I didn't pay much attention to it because I ignored it in some of the other ones. But I'm going Kape as well on this one. I think once you hit the UFC, it's a different story. Unless you're like a Cameron Simon that we know is like super proven and well rounded and really the future.
And has had three wins.
No, but I mean, like when he had his debut, okay, also granted he was fighting a little bit low on the card, but like we all knew, I'm sure the Brazilians are going to be saying the same thing about dos Santos, but until I don't think dos Santos was a champion in his previous organization either, which Cameron was. So until you fought in the UFC, I'm sorry, it's tough to back some people unless they're fighting a real like filler jobber opponent.
Yeah.
But again, how do you have someone making their debut 3rd fight from the top on the main card? This card is lackluster.
Again, imagine like a card where you have like Robert Whittaker, Izzy, you have Volk, like, and then also Ty maybe at the
Ty, Cara France, like even just on the patriotic side of things, yes, okay, they're from New Zealand, but still. There's a lot of fighters that you could have put on this card. But anyway, this is one of the rare times that the UFC kind of messed up. Watch this be like the most lit card ever. Like just all like finishes and anyway. Okay, so we're both going with Kape on that one.
Yeah.
This one's a bit harder to call. Okay. This is a UFC fight night, Tuivasa versus Volkov type main event in my opinion. Again, 2nd on the card. Ty always game. But on a 2-fight lose streak, always has a tough time against taller opponents.
Yeah.
Volkov, on the other hand, 36-10, man. That's 46 fights.
Yeah.
It's number 6 versus number 8. Volkov being number 8.
And 5-2 his last 7.
Yeah.
The only 2 is Aspinall and Khan.
And on a 2-fight win streak. He is quite a heavy favorite, actually, strangely enough.
Yeah.
But I think it's because Tuivasa's on a 2-fight lose streak and Volkov 2-fight win streak.
Yeah.
But Volkov does lose to good opponents. Like, I mean, to the top guys up at the top.
Yeah.
Top guys up at the top, yes.
Absolutely. I just don't know if Ty is there. I don't think
this is tough to call.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think this is the make or break one.
because if Ty loses, yeah.
Then I mean, who knows what happens there?
But then, I mean, I don't think it's end of days. I mean, you still have like Derek Lewis, which had like he was on a pretty bad losing streak, and you know he's still got his place.
See, Ty's got a tough time against these taller guys. You know,
like Gone, yeah, picked him apart.
So tough to call. What are you saying?
Volkov.
You're saying Volkov?
He's also big. I think that he's bigger, more athletic. Like, I think it's still going to be a dog fight. I think Ty's going to like push forward really hard, but I think Volkov, I just see it going his way.
Yeah, my heart says Ty by TKO, but my head says Volkov as well, and I agree with you. And I think just the momentum is a massive thing in MMA. We always say it in any combat sport. I mean, just on a little side note, I was watching Submission Kings this weekend, and there's a guy that was in the sort of the main event title. Well, not the main event, but in the title matchup for welterweight titles, Mpetezi Faithful.
Yeah.
And I promise you go to any competition anywhere in the country, like they can be 2 weeks apart, he's competing there. And his whole point was momentum is the most important thing. And that's why he wants to keep that momentum going and going and going and going. And that's what's in Volkov's favor here. So even though I'd like Ty to win and I'd like him to have a walk-off knockout like Mark Hunt style, I think Volkov as well. I think that's inevitable for me. Yeah. So I think it's a 3-round fight, so possibly decision, possibly TKO. I'm torn between the two.
I think so. No, not submission. I think decision.
That's the most likely outcome, I think. Yeah. Then we've got the main event. Israel Adesanya versus Deshaun Strickland. I wonder what walkout song Sean Strickland's going to go on. It's interesting they haven't had a lot of like press of this yet. They're leaving it right for the end because they're probably so worried about what Sean Strickland's going to say after his Joe Rogan appearance, like where he was like saying to Joe, like, Google, is he doing this? Google, is he doing that? Google, is he saying this? Google, is he saying that? Is he a hypocrite? Is he this? So it's interesting. It's I don't I mean,
who do you have?
Adesanya. I mean, if Strickland wins this, he'll probably bankrupt every single betting house in the whole world. Don't you dare say Strickland.
There's a part of me that believes.
How?
Like, I don't know.
How?
I don't know. There's so many holes in his game, especially his stand-up. And like, I think that it will be on the feet. And I think that Izzy can pick him apart. But there's so much of me that like, there's like a nagging part of my brain that says he has a chance. And like, I don't know. Imagine that world. Imagine Sean wins. Like, it'll be immediate rematch, but like for like 9 months, it'll just be calamity. Like, I can't understand what else to. Blows my mind.
I mean, okay, hang on a second. Let's be respectful to Deshaun. And I'm gonna call him Deshaun because of the do-rag and the Hennessy in the one Schmo video. Which was hilarious, by the way. I think he should just change his name to Deshaun Strickland. Okay, so after the Pereira fight, that was embarrassing. Like the way he did his stand-up was in that fight, it was embarrassing. Okay. Pereira being an amazing striker aside, it was super embarrassing to
the stance, absolutely.
Challenging him to a duel. Since then, it can't get any worse than that. Okay, now you've got a glare. Like, maybe you said to yourself, "No, it's not that bad. I can get around it. I'm tough," or like whatever. There's no escaping that. So that was quite some time ago. So to catch up to Izzy, never going to happen in the striking. Like, let's be honest. But to do enough not to get hit like that again is possible. I think it's possible. Okay. Also, let's be honest. I think Izzy's going to be so cocky in this fight. And try and make an absolute statement. And I think look past Sean Strickland to want to either do a big call out on Dricus again. Maybe they fly Dricus out. They do the whole face-off thing again. Or say something about Hamzat. in anticipation of Khamzat maybe beating Paulo Costa, which is not granted, by the way. So there is a possibility. But I just can't, I don't see a world in which the blueprint to beat Izzy is pretty simple on paper. Okay, everybody knows. You put pressure on him, you go forward, you don't get hit, you put pressure on him. He's not comfortable. He's good at grappling, counter grappling, but he's not comfortable, all the way comfortable there.
Yeah.
He hasn't really fought a proper grappler just yet because him and Romero, again, didn't really grapple that much. If you take him down, which Pereira was able to do, Strickland's not the same size though.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But that's what Strickland has to do to win. Get it to the ground, and even if he's got to do a Chael Sonnen versus Anderson Silva where he just lays on him and hits him pitter-patter punches, that's enough.
Yeah.
But I cannot see him keeping... He might get Izzy down, but keeping him down? Just don't see it, dude. I just don't see it. Especially now that Izzy's been training with Craig Jones.
Yeah.
Who's got such unorthodox ways of getting back up to the feet. I just don't see it, dude.
My brain, I absolutely agree with you. But I don't know. There's just like some part of me that's like, he might win. You know, anytime anyone steps into the cage, you know, like there's a chance. And just what that would do, you know, like to the landscape. Like it would be like, imagine it's a walk-off KO with Sean and then like he versus Khamzat next. You know, I don't know. It would be great for the division.
No, it wouldn't. I think it would be horrible for the division. I don't even know if I want that to happen. Because think about it now. So as it stands, if Izzy is champion, look at some of the fights that are there. Okay, there's not a lot of them, but there's good fights.
Yeah.
Dricus, Khamzat.
Yeah.
Okay. If Sean Strickland wins, there's not one good fight there because he gets smoked by anyone in the top 5 or 6.
So it's just who can campaign to go next.
It's just who's first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and also, I like when a champion, one or two things happens. A champion goes out on top, retires on top, okay? Without having to lose or like, you know, be a journeyman or whatever, retires on top. Like if Anderson Silva retired before the Weidman fight or took the Weidman fight seriously and won that fight, retired, great. On the other side, I like it. I like when this happens, when there's a passing of the torch and a champion is beaten for the next. Because again, that's what this business is about, stars. Once one star goes out, you pass the torch to the next. It's like wrestling, except they plan it there.
It's better for the division as well.
It's better for the division as well. So I would like to see whether it's Dricus or it's Khamzat, take Izzy out. Even if they then do a rematch, take him out again. Close that chapter. Izzy's no longer the champion, like Leon Edwards did with Kamaru Usman.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
So I don't think Izzy's going to retire if he beats Sean and win. I'm going with Izzy. I don't think he retires. I've seen some people saying he possibly retires and rides off into the sunset.
No.
Ducks Khamzat and ducks Dricus. But the way he's talking, I don't think he's going to retire. I think he wants that UFC Africa fight. And I think it maybe, and I'm hoping it happens sooner rather than later next year. And then that's what they do.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Are you saying Sean's going to win?
No.
Okay. Well, then what was all of that for?
No, I'm just saying, like,
because I was going to say, if you pick Sean Strickland to win, you have to bet on him.
Yeah.
Like, you have to.
Yeah. I don't. I pick Izzy. The dream. I'm not going to give up on the dream. It's he beats Sean and then versus Dricus, UFC Africa. That's
23rd of March, 2024.
Yeah.
In Cape Town.
That is the dream. But I'm just saying, if like there's a part of me that would be so excited and so happy just for the chaos of it if Sean wins. Just like it would just be an insane thing to happen.
Yeah. But no one benefits from that besides Sean.
I know.
Sean.
But that's kind of what makes it like, I don't want it to happen. But if it does, it'll like, you know, I don't know how to explain this.
What if?
Yeah.
Think about it. I'm trying to relate it to something, you know, it would be a bigger upset than Juliana Pena beating Amanda Nunes.
Absolutely. It would be the biggest upset in UFC history.
I think so. Yeah. It's bigger than the biggest upset in UFC history at the moment is either Chris Weidman beating Anderson Silva or Matt Serra beating GSP.
And there's parallels you can draw between Silva and Izzy, you know?
I don't know, man. I like... See, because if Strickland does win, they have to again do a rematch, you know? And then you get to see Khamzat versus Drikas. I'd rather see that for a title, to be honest with you. Khamzat Drikas.
Yeah.
But yeah, surely Strickland can't win.
Yeah. I don't think he can. Well, he can. Like, anyone can win, but I don't think he does. But if he does, it'll be very interesting to see what happens.
Imagine he wins by like injury or something.
Yeah.
Okay, like let's say Izzy gets injured.
That's probably the most likely way. Yeah.
That is honestly, if there's a bet you want to take Izzy getting injured. Okay.
Yeah.
And then we have a Sterling Petr Yan situation. Imagine that. Okay, where he like doesn't deserve to win the belt. Well, Sterling didn't, in my opinion. But anyway.
Yeah.
Imagine then Strickland ends up and going and beating him in the rematch like Aljamain did.
Yeah.
And then goes on a bit of a win streak. Imagine he's like, oh, I'm the champion now, so now I've got to put the time in.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I just can't see it happening. No, it's not happening.
It feels like a fever dream, but I'm just saying it's not. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't touch wood, but like
we would be in the twilight zone if that happened. Yeah. There's no chance. So, listen, UFC Fight Night, Australia. I mean, UFC 293, Australia, guys. It's going to be a bogus card, I think. Sorry to say, I'm skeptical. But, hey, man, if this thing... I can't sell this card. You screwed up, UFC. You screwed up with this one. Like, you should have waited. You should have waited, like, at least just a month from now.
Yeah.
They could have done it. They could have swapped Abu Dhabi with us, to be honest.
Directors could have made it then. I'm not sure what
2 million pay-per-view buys.
Easy.
Cameron's fighting in October.
Yeah.
So is what it is, man. It is what it is. We'll see what happens
in October.
Yeah. It's been confirmed.
Soon.
No, well, it's 3.5 months after the last fight. Because remember, before in the same card as Drikas. Yeah, that's exciting, dude. The kid he's fighting is 9-1 or 9-0 as well.
Oof, okay,
I think 9-1. Yeah,
nice.
Very, very exciting prospect. I texted him when the news came out, and I was like, do you know like where on the card you're fighting or whatever? And he's like, no, I don't know. You know, like. He didn't really care.
No.
I was like, it better be on the fucking main card this time, you know? Because, I mean, that guy's been on a tear. He deserves to fight top 20, I feel like. Top 30 or at least.
At least.
And be on a fight night main card.
Yeah. Do you see, what's that young one? Also same weight division.
Rosas Jr.
He's versing Terrence McKinney.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. On when? Do you know when that is?
Mm-mm. But that's encouraging.
Yeah, well, he's probably going to be on the main card. Like, watch now. He'll probably be on the main card of that card, even though he's coming off a loss. It's because...
They both are then.
Because he's American, that's why. Yeah, you know, so... Yeah, but listen, Cameron said in the last time I spoke to him on the interview, like, he wants to be in title contention next year. And this is another road.
Yeah, to get there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Sorry, not Terrence McKinney, Terrence Mitchell.
Terrence Mitchell. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, Rosas Jr. I mean, I don't know. Like, I always had this conversation with Harmy, one of our coaches. Like, he reckons even if you start younger, your lifespan in MMA is sort of the same.
Yeah. Like,
you know?
Yeah.
So a guy like Rosas Jr. starting at 17 or 18 or whatever it is, like his lifespan...
At 31,
At 31, he might be like...
Yeah. You can see that with Dustin. You know, Dustin started early, but like...
Nate Diaz.
Yeah. How long can you last? Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of things happening. So I mean, there's a lot of things happening for South Africa soon. BK is also hopefully fighting for a title soon. Hopefully, I don't know what's happening with that.
Yeah.
Cameron's back up there. Hopefully Don gets a fight again soon. Like he said on the Tuesday episode, you know, he's hoping to maybe get a fight in between. Let's see. It's a good time, man. It's a good time. There's also a couple of people competing in jiu-jitsu as well, and overseas. So it's a good time for South Africa. I just hope this goes from strength to strength now.
Yeah.
People keep pushing on.